Ryan floated above the surface of Nirith in his small scout ship. The planet below was strange and beautiful. Its forests glowed faintly with blue light and tall crystal-like trees reached toward the sky. From space it seemed peaceful, almost empty, but Ryan knew better. The sensors in his ship had detected movement, signals of life that were intelligent. He adjusted the controls and prepared for landing. The scout ship's landing was smooth. Ryan stepped out, breathing in the thin, fresh air. He wore a light protective suit, enough to shield him from unknown bacteria, but it did not hide his face. He wanted the creatures of this planet to see him as he was, not as a strange shadow in armor. He took slow, careful steps toward the forest. Suddenly, movement caught his eye. Small, fast shapes darted between the glowing trees. They were unlike anything Ryan had seen. They moved on two legs but had tails swishing behind them. Their ears were tall and pointed, and their eyes glowed gold in the dim light. The creatures were wary but curious, keeping a distance. Ryan raised his hands slowly, showing he meant no harm. The creatures froze and studied him. One stepped forward, taller than the others, with a silver-white tail that flicked nervously. Ryan recognized her immediately as the leader. He could feel her strength and skill even from a distance. The air grew tense. He knew he could not just take her peacefully. The Vulpans were proud warriors, and capturing one alive would be a challenge. He activated a small net launcher on his wrist, aiming carefully. But before he could fire, the leader lunged. She moved faster than he expected, dodging effortlessly. Her agility was incredible, each movement precise and strong. Ryan knew he had to think quickly. He jumped backward as she pounced, narrowly avoiding her swipe. She hissed, a sound that was not like any animal he had ever heard. It was sharp, intelligent, full of warning. "You are fast," Ryan said aloud. He hoped she could understand him. She did not respond. Her focus was on him, her tail low and stiff. It was clear she had been trained to fight, but her stance also showed caution. She was proud, and yet there was a hint of fear in her eyes. Ryan's plan was simple. He did not want to harm her, only to take her back to the ship. He activated a small energy net. It shot out in a precise curve, catching her mid-leap. She landed on the ground, struggling, but the net was strong. Her tail flicked, trying to free herself, but she could not escape. Ryan approached slowly, speaking in calm tones. "I am not here to hurt you. You are not my enemy." The Vulpan warrior froze. Her ears twitched, and she lowered her head slightly. Her tail was hidden tightly beneath her body. Ryan noticed this immediately. In Vulpan culture, the tail was a symbol of honor and pride. Hiding it meant shame or fear. He understood that she was not just angry, but deeply embarrassed. "Do not worry," he said softly. "I will not disrespect you." Despite the net, she made no attempt to attack him further. Ryan could feel the tension in her body, the energy of a fighter who had not been defeated easily before. He took a small step closer and offered his hand. It was a gesture of peace, of trust. Her eyes widened. She had never seen a human act this way before. Most humans in the galaxy either hunted Vulpans or ignored them. She had expected fear or aggression. Instead, she saw calm. That calm made her hesitate. Ryan released the net slowly. She stepped back, tail still hidden, eyes wary. She circled him, testing his reactions. He did not move quickly, did not reach for weapons. He let her inspect him. Finally, she stopped, standing a few feet away. Her ears twitched as she studied him. The golden glow of her eyes reflected intelligence and careful judgment. Ryan nodded. "You are brave," he said. "You do not need to hide your tail from me. I can see strength in it." Her body stiffened at his words. She had never heard a human speak about Vulpans with understanding. Usually, humans ignored the meaning of her tale entirely. The idea that a human could respect her culture surprised her. Before she could react further, the forest shifted. The other Vulpans were watching from the shadows, whispering to each other. Ryan noticed them and did not move. He wanted to show that he was not a threat to the others either. Suddenly, a loud shout echoed from deeper in the forest. Another Vulpan, larger and stronger, charged toward them. Ryan barely had time to react. He grabbed his small energy staff and moved to block the attack. The other warrior stopped, surprised by his reflexes. Ryan's movements were not just defensive. They were precise and controlled. The leader, Tira, he decided to call her, watched him. Her tail twitched behind her back, hidden, but her body language changed. She was no longer purely defensive. She was curious. This human moved with confidence and skill. He was not reckless, not cruel. Ryan held his staff ready but did not strike. Instead, he spoke. I do not want to fight you. I want to understand you. The large Vulpan hesitated, unsure if the human could be reasoned with. After a tense moment, it backed off, disappearing into the shadows. Tira relaxed slightly, her tail still hidden. Ryan lowered his staff. You are a good warrior, he said. But there is no need to hide from me. I see who you are. Tira tilted her head, considering his words. She had been captured and humiliated by other species before, but this human was different. He did not mock her, did not threaten her dignity. He treated her as an equal, even though she was his prisoner. Finally, she made a decision. She stepped closer, revealing a glimpse of her tail. It was silver-white and gleamed in the dim light. The sight was striking, and Ryan nodded in appreciation. You are beautiful, he said. Your tail shows your strength and honor. There is no shame in it. Tira froze at his words. She had never been called beautiful in her life, not for her strength, not for her pride. Her tail twitched slightly, but this time it was not in fear. It was curiosity. Ryan smiled gently. I will keep my word. You will not be harmed. I only wish to learn, to understand. Will you let me do that? For the first time, Tira hesitated, not out of fear, but out of thought. She studied the human before her. He was unlike any other human she had encountered. He did not demand respect. He did not provoke anger. He simply acknowledged her worth. Slowly, she stepped fully into the light, tail fully visible. It was a silent agreement. She was no longer hiding. She was not yet trusting him fully, but she was willing to see what this human could offer beyond capture. Ryan nodded and extended a hand of friendship. Tira looked at it, then back at him. She did not take it yet, but she bowed slightly in acknowledgement. The human had passed the first test. The forest around them was quiet again, the other Vulpans watching. Ryan knew that this was only the beginning. Capturing a warrior was easy. Earning their respect was much harder. But he had seen strength, pride, and intelligence in her eyes. He knew humanity could connect across worlds not through power, but through courage, understanding, and respect. As they walked back toward the ship, Tira stayed a few steps behind, still cautious. Her tail swished gently behind her, no longer hidden completely. It was a small sign, but it meant a lot. She was beginning to trust a human, and that was the first step toward a bond that could change both their worlds forever. The ship doors closed behind them, and Ryan looked at her with calm confidence. This mission was supposed to be simple, a scouting and capture operation, but he already knew it would be more than that. It would be a story of humans proving that courage, respect, and empathy could create connections no weapon could ever achieve. Tira sat quietly, studying him. She was still a warrior, proud and fierce, but she felt something she had not felt before. The possibility that humans were not just conquerors or threats. They could be allies, friends, and teachers. The stars outside the ship shimmered. The human and the Vulpan warrior, captured but not defeated, were beginning a journey together. And that journey would show the galaxy that humans were capable of greatness, not through domination, but through understanding and bravery. The inside of Ryan's ship was quiet, lit with soft white panels that gave the metallic walls a gentle glow. Tira sat on a raised platform near the wall, her tail curled tightly beneath her. She refused to meet anyone's eyes. Even the ship's crew, 2 humans who had followed Ryan on the mission, gave her space. The room was unfamiliar to her. The hum of the engines, the faint vibrations beneath her feet, and the strange human devices all made her uneasy. Ryan sat on a low bench across from her, keeping a respectful distance. He did not wear his helmet, allowing her to see his face clearly. Calm blue eyes met hers, showing neither fear nor aggression. He did not speak immediately. He wanted her to feel safe before words came. After a long moment, he began. You are brave, he said quietly. I have seen many creatures, many warriors, but you fought with skill. Even when captured, you did not give up. Tira's ears twitched. She had never been praised for her fighting before, at least not by a human. Most humans only cared about victory or domination. They did not understand honor. She did not respond immediately, unsure if she could trust his words. Ryan continued. I know your tail is important. It shows strength and pride. Hiding it does not make you weak. I respect that you are cautious. For the first time, Tira's tail twitched slightly, not from fear but from attention. She had been hiding for so long, taught that humans would mock or harm her. Yet this human spoke with understanding. He did not demand respect. He offered it. The hum of the ship filled the silence. Ryan reached into his pack and placed a small device on the floor. It projected a soft light that showed a map of the planet. "I want to understand your world," he said. "Your culture, your people. I do not know much, but I am willing to learn." Tira leaned forward slightly. She had never seen a human take interest in her kind this way. Usually they were focused on resources, territory, or weapons. He was different. He did not see her as an object. He saw her as a person. "Why do you not hurt me?" she asked finally, her voice low but clear. It was cautious, a test of honesty. Ryan smiled gently. "Harm will not teach trust. Understanding does. I could have captured you roughly, tied you, forced you to obey. But I chose not to. I want you to choose to trust me. Only then can we learn from each other." Tira's ears flattened slightly. She had heard of humans who spoke this way, but never met one who lived it. She studied him carefully, noticing small details. The steadiness of his hands, the calm tone of his voice, the way he did not move suddenly. Every action reinforced his words. "You humans are strange," she said after a pause. "Most would see a Vulcan as a prize, a curiosity, or a threat. You treat me as equals." Ryan nodded. "We are different. Not all humans think the same. I choose to act with respect. I want to learn your ways, not destroy them." The words hung in the air. Tira's tail flicked slightly, still hidden, but the movement showed a small shift in her trust. She had been captured, yet she felt less like a prisoner than she expected. Humans could be unpredictable, but Ryan's behavior was consistent. "Your kind hides your feelings," Ryan said gently. "I can see your hesitation, your caution. That is wise. But I hope you will allow me to speak openly, to ask questions and to learn from you." Tira tilted her head. She had never had anyone speak to her like this before. Questions had always been tests, and answers carried consequences. Yet these questions felt safe. "They were not a trap, I will answer," she said softly. Her voice carried authority but also curiosity. "But know this. I am a warrior. I will not lie and I will not bend to threats. My honor is mine," Ryan smiled. "I would not expect anything less. I only wish to understand. That is all." Tira relaxed slightly, uncurling her tail just enough to show its silver-white tip. It was a small gesture, but it meant a lot. She was opening herself bit by bit to a human who had shown respect instead of fear. Ryan nodded, acknowledging her courage. "Your tail is beautiful. It reflects your strength and skill. There is no shame in it." Tira froze at the words. No human had ever called her tail beautiful, nor spoken of it with respect. She lowered her head slightly, uncertain what to say. Her pride told her to be silent, yet a small warmth spread through her chest. Perhaps humans could see more than just the body or the weapon in a warrior. Ryan continued gently. "I want to know how you fight, how you train, and how your people live. Will you teach me?" Tira considered this. Teaching a human was dangerous. They were unpredictable and could betray trust. Yet this human had already shown patience and respect. Slowly she nodded. "I will teach, but you must promise to listen and not judge." "I promise," Ryan said sincerely. "I will listen first, judge never. We may be different, but we can learn from each other." For hours Tira spoke cautiously, describing Vulcan training, the significance of the tail, and the rituals of honor that defined their warriors. Ryan listened intently, asking questions only when necessary, never interrupting, never dismissing her words. Each answer built trust. Each explanation showed the depth of Vulcan culture, and Ryan admired it openly. The other humans watched silently, surprised at how carefully Ryan treated the captured warrior. They had expected hostility, resistance, or fear. Instead, they saw understanding grow between human and Vulcan. It was remarkable. When Tira finished explaining her morning training, Ryan asked softly, "Would you demonstrate?" Her ears twitched. Demonstrating her skill to a human could feel humiliating, yet she sensed no malice in his tone. She stood slowly, tail held high this time, showing confidence. The human watched quietly as she moved through a series of practice stances. Every motion was fluid, precise, and full of power. Ryan nodded in appreciation. "You are more than just a fighter. You are disciplined, clever, and strong. I respect you deeply." Tira's tail swished slowly. She had never received such praise from a human before. It was not flattery. It was recognition. And it mattered. As the ship traveled above the glowing forests of Nirith, Ryan and Tira continued their conversation. She spoke of her life, her responsibilities, and the pride of her people. He shared stories of Earth and humanity, their mistakes, their triumphs, and their ability to connect across differences. For the first time, Tira felt a spark of curiosity about humans. She realized that not all of them were threats. Some could be allies, even friends. Trust was growing slowly, like a small flame, but it was real. Hours passed, and the ship's hum became a background rhythm to their dialogue. Tira's tail no longer hid completely. Her ears were more relaxed. She moved with less caution, observing humans and learning their ways. Ryan's calm and respect had broken through the fear she carried. By the time the ship reached orbit around the planet, Tira understood something profound. Humans were not merely invaders or explorers seeking resources. They could be teachers, companions, and protectors. She still had doubts, and she still carried pride, but a bridge of trust had formed between her and the human named Ryan. Ryan looked at her and smiled. "You are a remarkable warrior, Tira. Your strength is beyond what I expected, and your spirit is inspiring. I am honored to meet you." Tira bowed slightly, her ears high, her tail swishing gently. It was not submission. It was acknowledgement. She had met a human who could see her for who she truly was, and that recognition meant more than any victory in battle. The stars outside shimmered, and the distant blue glow of Nirith's forest reminded them both of the world they were protecting. This was the beginning of an unusual alliance, one that would show the galaxy the power of understanding, courage, and respect. In that quiet room aboard the ship, human and Vulcan warrior began a journey that neither would forget. They were no longer prisoner and captor. They were partners in learning, allies in spirit, and the first step toward trust had been taken. The conversation continued deep into the night, and Tira's tail finally relaxed fully. She had learned that humans could be more than conquerors. They could be heroes not by force alone, but by understanding and courage. The quiet hum of the ship was suddenly broken by a sharp alarm. Red lights flashed across the panels, and the soft white glow of the cabin turned crimson. Ryan's eyes snapped to the control console. Sensors were picking up multiple fast-moving objects approaching from the planet below. Tira rose immediately, tail flicking nervously. She had learned to read danger quickly. "What is happening?" she asked, ears forward, alert. "Raiders," Ryan replied calmly. "They know about your planet. They want to exploit it." Tira's golden eyes widened. Raiders were violent, unpredictable, and dangerous. They did not care about Vulpans or humans. Their goal was destruction and profit. Ryan moved quickly to the control console. He activated the ship's defensive shields and prepared the small energy turrets. "We may be outnumbered," he said, "but we are not powerless." Tira stepped closer, studying the console and the display. She had never seen human technology in action like this. The speed at which Ryan calculated their odds, assigned defenses, and prepared strategies amazed her. Humans were clever in ways Vulpans rarely expected. "They will not survive long if we work together," Ryan said. "But you must trust me," Tira hesitated. Trust had been difficult, even with his calm words and respectful behavior. But now the lives of her people and the humans aboard the ship depended on it. She nodded once sharply and took her stance beside him. The first wave of raiders entered the atmosphere. Small ships swarmed like metallic insects, their engines glowing orange against Nirith's forests below. Ryan's fingers moved over the console with precise control, activating energy turrets and sending targeted pulses at the approaching raiders. Several ships were disabled before they even reached the forest. Tira watched, impressed. Humans were not just clever in thought. They could act with speed and precision. She felt a surge of respect, realizing that her initial judgment of humans as unpredictable was changing. "Stay close," Ryan said. "Follow my lead and trust your instincts." Tira's tail flicked in acknowledgement. She moved with grace, sliding behind the low walls of the ship's outer deck. Her eyes scanned the skies, noting every approach vector of the enemy. She was a warrior trained to react quickly, and now she had to merge her instincts with the humans' technology. Another wave of raiders struck. This time they attempted a direct boarding maneuver. Tira leaped forward, claws extended, her speed almost blinding. She incapacitated the first two intruders with precise strikes, her tail whipping behind her in a display of power. Ryan watched, not in surprise but in admiration. Humans rarely encountered warriors with such skill and discipline. "Good work," Ryan said. "Keep them contained while I manage the turrets." Tira's tail twitched proudly, no longer hidden. She realized that in this fight, humans and Vulpans were equals. Her skill complemented their technology, and their strategy amplified her instincts. Together, they were stronger than either alone. The battle grew intense. Raiders adapted quickly, coordinating attacks and targeting both the ship and the forest below. Ryan activated a secondary energy shield, buying time for Tira to maneuver. She moved with precision, using the environment, flipping over railings and launching herself toward attackers with incredible speed. Rian's voice guided her. "Left flank. Move to the vent. Cover the opening." Tira followed without hesitation, trusting his commands. She had always relied on her instincts, but now she had to trust a human's judgment. Every decision she made was guided not only by her training, but by faith in someone she had recently met. A large raider ship broke through the shields and hovered close to the main deck. Its weapons aimed directly at them. Ryan's hands flew across the control panel, attempting to redirect power to the main turret. Tira saw the danger immediately. She leaped, landing on the raider's hull with incredible agility. She tore open a hatch and disabled its core energy systems. Sparks flew and the ship veered away from their position, unable to continue the attack. Ryan watched with amazement. Humans had technology, but Tira had instincts and courage that machines could never replicate. He realized that humanity's strength lay not just in innovation, but in understanding, leadership, and inspiring others to act with confidence. The remaining raiders attempted to flee. Ryan activated the ship's pursuit program, disabling their engines one by one. Tira moved alongside him, her tail swishing with pride. She had fought beside a human, not under him, and the victory felt shared. When the last raider ship fell from the sky, the forest below remained untouched. The Vulpan villages were safe, and the humans aboard the ship were unscathed. Tira lowered her stance, breathing heavily but with a sense of accomplishment. "You did well," Ryan said, approaching her. "You trusted me in a critical moment. That trust saved lives." Tira's ears twitched, her golden eyes reflecting the glow of the control panels. She had never felt this way before. Humans could be reckless, selfish, and cruel, but Ryan had shown her something different. Courage, intelligence, and respect were not limited to her kind. "Humans possessed them too. I did not think I could trust so quickly," she admitted. "But you did not just give orders. You guided, you taught, and you respected my skill." Ryan nodded. "Trust is earned, not demanded. You showed your strength and judgment, and we succeeded because of it. This is how allies fight together." Tira studied him closely. She realized that this human was unlike others she had encountered. He did not dominate or belittle her. He recognized her worth, and he acted with strategy, not emotion. This combination of skill and respect was rare and powerful. The ship's alarms quieted, and the red lights returned to a calm white. Outside, Neareth's forest glowed softly once again. The battle was over, but the connection formed in that fight was permanent. Trust had been tested and proven in action. Tira allowed herself a small smile. She had faced humans before, and most had disappointed her. But Ryan had shown her that humans could be heroes, not only in battle but in spirit. Courage and wisdom could coexist, and together they could protect what mattered. Ryan placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "You are a remarkable warrior, Tira. Today proved it. I hope you see that humans are capable of greatness just as your kind is." Tira's tail flicked proudly. "I see it now. I see that strength is not just in the claws or weapons, but in understanding and courage. You humans can inspire as well as fight." The other crew members approached, showing respect for Tira. They had witnessed the battle and her skill, but more importantly, they had seen her trust a human. This small act of faith had changed everything. As the ship ascended above the clouds, Tira looked down at the forests of her homeland. She realized that humans were not invaders seeking to dominate. They could be protectors, allies, and companions. Trust, courage, and understanding had created a bond stronger than fear. Ryan sat quietly beside her. "There will be more challenges," he said softly. "But today we proved that working together is more powerful than standing alone." Tira nodded. She had hidden her tail in shame once, believing it was a weakness. Today she had fought proudly with it held high, beside a human who respected her entirely. That respect, combined with their shared courage, had turned potential disaster into triumph. For the first time in her life, Tira realized that humans could be more than allies. They could be partners in defending what was sacred. The galaxy was dangerous and threats would continue to rise, but trust and courage could overcome almost anything. The ship continued to orbit Neareth, carrying human and Vulpan warrior together. Both looked toward the stars, knowing that their journey was only beginning. Challenges would come, but their bond had been forged in fire, tested by danger and strengthened by mutual respect. Tira's tail swished gently, no longer hidden, reflecting her pride and renewed confidence. She had trusted a human, fought alongside him, and learned that greatness was not limited by species. The galaxy was vast, but humans had shown her that courage, intelligence, and understanding could shine even in the darkest places. As the stars sparkled outside the ship, Ryan and Tira prepared for the next mission. They would face dangers, enemies, and mysteries together, but one thing was certain. The trust they had built today would guide them through whatever challenges awaited. And in that moment, Tira understood the essence of humanity. Not strength alone, not weapons or technology, but the ability to act with honor, courage, and empathy. This was the reason humans could be heroes, not just conquerors, and it was a lesson she would carry forever. The ship floated quietly above Neareth, the soft glow of the forest below casting long shadows across the hull. Tira stood near the observation window, her silver-white tail relaxed but swishing gently. She had learned to trust Rian and the humans around her, but a sense of unease lingered. The battle with the raiders had been won, but danger was never far in this galaxy. Ryan approached her silently, noticing the tension in her posture. "You are thinking about what comes next," he said softly. Tira nodded. "The raiders are gone, but they were not the only threat. My people have enemies that lurk in the shadows, and I fear I may not be prepared to face them." Ryan smiled, calm and confident. "Preparation is not only about strength. It is about learning, understanding, and courage. You have already proven that you can fight bravely and trust wisely. That is far more valuable than any weapon." Tira looked at him, considering his words. Humans were different from what she had expected. They did not measure courage in scars or victories alone. They saw the spirit, the mind, and the choices one made under pressure. That perspective was rare and powerful. A sudden alert interrupted their conversation. The ship's sensors picked up unusual energy readings in the lower forests of Neareth. Ryan moved to the console, scanning the area carefully. The readings were unstable and moving quickly. "Something is activating in the forest," Ryan said. "It is not raiders, it is different." Tira's ears twitched. She had felt disturbances in the forest before, strange shifts in energy, shadows moving without form, but she had never encountered anything like this. "I must see it," she said firmly. Ryan nodded. "We will go, but we move carefully. I will need you to guide us." They descended toward the lower forest, the ship hovering silently above the glowing trees. Tira's knowledge of the terrain was unmatched. She pointed out paths, hidden clearings, and areas where danger could emerge. Ryan followed her guidance precisely, respecting her instincts. As they approached the center of the readings, a large clearing opened before them. In the middle, strange machines hummed with energy, half buried in the soil. They were ancient, unlike anything humans or Vulpans had built. Lights flickered across their surfaces and small tendrils of energy pulsed outward. Tira crouched low, observing. "These are old guardians," she whispered. "They were placed here long ago to protect something important. No Vulpan has approached them for generations." Rian studied the machines. "They are active again. And something triggered them. We need to be careful." Suddenly, one of the machines activated fully, rising from the ground with a loud mechanical hiss. Its body was sleek, metallic, and covered in glowing blue symbols. It moved with precision, scanning the surroundings. Its gaze fell on them. Tira's tail flicked nervously. "Do not let it touch you," she warned. "These machines will attack if they sense danger, but they can also be reasoned with if approached carefully." Rian nodded. "Then we approach carefully." He stepped forward slowly, showing no aggression. Tira followed, her body tense but ready. The machine moved toward them, its movements fast but deliberate. Ryan noticed its sensors focusing on Tira. "It recognized her as a Vulpan first, do you see it?" Ryan whispered. "It is reacting to you, not me. Your species is part of its protocol." Tira nodded. Her mind raced. The machines were guardians, yes, but they tested not just strength but wisdom and intention. She took a deep breath and stepped forward. "We mean no harm," she said firmly. Her voice carried authority, calm, and clarity. The machine paused, its sensors flickering. Then another rose and another, forming a circle around them. The hum of energy grew louder. Tira's tail twitched but remained high. "We need to work together," she said to Ryan. "I know how to deactivate them safely, but it will require precise timing." Ryan listened carefully. He had learned to trust her instincts. "Tell me what to do," he said calmly. Tira moved gracefully between the machines, reading the symbols and pressing buttons in a sequence only she could understand. Ryan followed her instructions exactly, using human technology to assist. Sparks flew, lights pulsed, and energy waves surged, but neither human nor Vulcan faltered. Minutes passed like hours. Each machine reacted differently, requiring careful adjustments. Ryan marveled at Tira's focus and intelligence. She was not just a fighter. She was a thinker, a strategist, and a leader. The humans on the ship could provide strength, but Tira provided understanding and wisdom. Finally, with a final press of a button and a coordinated energy pulse, the machines fell silent. Their glowing symbols dimmed and the hum of power faded. The clearing was calm once again. Tira lowered herself to a crouch, breathing heavily but with pride. Her tail swished slowly, no longer tense. "They will not attack unless disturbed," she said. "The Guardians are satisfied that we mean no harm." Ryan stepped forward and placed a hand gently on her shoulder. "You were incredible. You guided us through danger with intelligence, skill, and courage. I am proud to stand beside you." Tira looked at him, ears upright and tail relaxed. She had faced danger her entire life, but this was different. Humans had never participated in her challenges like this before. They had not only survived, but learned, followed, and trusted her guidance. That trust was stronger than any blade. "We work well together," she admitted softly. "Your people, humans, you are more than I expected. You can fight, yes, but you can also think, understand, and lead. That is not common," Ryan smiled. "That is the essence of humanity. We are capable of more than strength alone. We adapt, we learn, and we protect. Today proved it." As they returned to the ship, Tira reflected on the events. She had been captured, ashamed and wary of humans at first. Her tail had hidden her pride, and her trust had been tentative. But now she felt a sense of partnership growing. Humans and Vulpans could work together. They could protect each other. They could create something stronger than fear. The crew of the ship watched quietly, impressed by the bond forming between human and Vulpan. It was rare for two different species to cooperate so fully, but the results were undeniable. Challenges that would have been impossible alone were overcome together. Later in the quiet of the ship's observation deck, Tira sat with Ryan. She watched her tail sway gently, proud and unhidden. "I never imagined a human could respect and honor a Vulpan so deeply," she said. "You did not command me, you guided me." "That is rare," Ryan nodded. "Respect is earned, not demanded. You have courage, skill, and wisdom. I am honored to learn from you as well." Tira considered this. Humans often underestimated other species, but Ryan had not. He had seen her as an equal, valued her knowledge, and trusted her instincts. That was powerful. That was leadership. A soft light filled the cabin as the ship drifted above the forests of Nearith. The events of the day had forged a stronger bond. Danger had tested them, but their cooperation and trust had proven that humans and Vulpans could achieve great things together. Tira's tail flicked with pride, and she allowed herself a small smile. She had faced her first true challenge alongside humans, and they had not failed. In fact, humans had elevated the fight, combining courage, intelligence, and strategy to protect her people and their shared mission. Ryan watched her, calm and confident. "There will be more challenges," he said, "but together we can face anything. Today you showed that courage is not measured by weapons alone, but by heart, skill, and trust." Tira's ears twitched in agreement. She understood now that humans were capable of greatness in ways she had never imagined. They could be partners, protectors, and allies in the most unexpected ways. As the ship drifted through orbit, the stars shining brightly above, Tira and Ryan prepared for whatever lay ahead. Together, human and Vulpan warrior had faced danger, outwitted ancient machines, and proven the strength of collaboration and trust. Her tail swished gently, no longer hidden, a symbol of pride and confidence. She had learned that humans were not merely strangers from another world. They could be heroes, capable of courage, wisdom, and honor. And in that realization, Tira understood the truth. Humanity's strength lay not just in technology or battle, but in the ability to inspire, to trust, and to lead. That lesson would guide her, and perhaps all Vulpans, into a new era of alliance and shared purpose. The journey was far from over, but the foundation had been laid. Humans and Vulpans, side by side, could face the galaxy with confidence, courage, and mutual respect, and for the first time, Tira's tail swished fully free, a proud symbol of her honor, her skill, and the trust she had given to a human. The first light of Nereth's twin suns bathed the forests in golden and soft blue hues. Tira stood at the edge of her village, her silver-white tail raised high, catching the morning glow. Today felt different. The events of the past days had changed her. She had fought alongside humans, survived battles, and faced ancient guardians. She had learned that humans were more than what she had feared or imagined. They were allies, courageous, intelligent, and honorable. Rian stood beside her, calm as always, scanning the horizon for any signs of danger. The humans on the ship were preparing supplies for exploration and defense, but Ryan's attention remained with Tira. He had seen her grow from a captured warrior hiding in shame to a proud fighter willing to trust another species. "You are ready," Ryan said quietly, his voice carrying warmth and confidence. "Your people will see what I already know. You are a leader, and a human ally is here to support you." Tira's ears twitched as she considered his words. Leadership was her duty, but she had never had experience working with another species in this way. She had learned to fight alone or with her kin, but humans brought a new perspective. They combined courage with reason, instinct with strategy. Trusting them had been difficult, but now she knew it was a strength, not a weakness. The village elders gathered in the central square, curious and wary. Humans were strangers to them, and although Ryan's calm behavior and the results of the recent battles had impressed them, they were still cautious. Tira stepped forward, tail held high. Her posture radiated confidence and authority. "These humans are not our enemies," she said firmly. "They fought beside me, protected our people, and respected our ways. You have seen the raiders and the machines. Their courage and intelligence saved lives." One elder, a tall Vulpan with fur marked by years of battle, studied her closely. "We do not often trust outsiders," he said slowly. "Your tail is raised, and your voice carries conviction. Tell us, human, why should we believe you?" Rian stepped forward, keeping his hands open and relaxed. "I am not here to conquer, to take, or to rule. I am here to protect, to learn, and to stand with those who value life and honor. The Vulpan people have courage, wisdom, and strength. My actions are guided by respect for all of you. That is my promise." The elders exchanged glances. Humans were unpredictable, and words alone were not enough. But they had seen the battles, the coordination, and the care Ryan and his crew had taken to avoid harm while protecting the village. Tira's own testimony carried weight. Slowly, the elders nodded. "Very well," the tall elder said. "We will allow this alliance. But know this. Trust is earned over time, and respect must be shown in action, not only words." Ryan inclined his head. "That is fair. Trust must be proven. We are ready to act and to learn from your people as well." Tira's tail swished proudly. She had once hidden it in shame, thinking it was a weakness. Now it stood tall, a symbol of honor and confidence. She realized that humans could see her value without belittling it, and that recognition was as important as victory in battle. The days that followed were busy but rewarding. Ryan and Tira worked together to improve the village's defenses. Humans brought technology, energy shields, and tools to monitor the forest, while Tira taught combat techniques, stealth maneuvers, and strategies for using the terrain to their advantage. The villagers watched in awe. Humans were not only strong and clever, but willing to learn from Vulpans. This mutual respect created a bond stronger than either species could achieve alone. One evening, as the twin suns dipped behind the horizon, Tira and Rian trained in the forest clearing. Energy pulses and sparks from their combined exercises lit the trees in a soft glow. Tira moved with grace, leaping and flipping, while Rian demonstrated precision with his equipment, matching her speed with clever tactics. "You have grown strong," Rian said, watching her land perfectly on a high branch. "But more than strength, you have learned to trust. That is what makes a warrior truly formidable." Tira's ears twitched and her tail flicked proudly. "I have learned that courage is not measured alone by fighting or surviving. Trust, understanding, and cooperation are just as important. You have shown me that humans can be as honorable as any Vulpan." Ryan smiled. and you have shown me that courage and skill can exist in forms I never imagined. Together we are stronger than either alone. Weeks passed, and the alliance proved its worth. Small patrols with both humans and Vulpans deterred raiders from returning. The ancient machines in the forest remained calm, no longer a threat, guided by Tira's knowledge and the humans' technology. Together they created a network of protection that would last for generations. One morning, a scout returned with urgent news. A massive energy signature was detected deep within the forest. Unlike the machines, this energy pulsed rhythmically like a heartbeat. Rian and Tira prepared immediately, understanding that this could be a serious threat or a test left by the ancient guardians. They approached cautiously. Tira led the way, her tail high, signaling confidence rather than fear. Ryan followed, analyzing the readings and adjusting the ship's shields to respond to any sudden danger. In the center of a clearing, a colossal structure emerged from the forest floor. Its surface shimmered with energy and reflected the sunlight like a prism. The ancient guardians had been protecting it for centuries, and now it was fully awake. Tira stepped forward, eyes scanning the surface. "This is what the machines were guarding," she whispered. "Something powerful is here, something that could harm or protect depending on how it is approached." Ryan nodded. "Then we proceed carefully together." They moved as a team. Tira guided the approach, instructing Ryan on which areas to touch, which symbols to observe, and when to channel energy through the devices they had brought. The structure responded to their coordinated effort, its lights pulsing faster with each successful action. Hours passed, and sweat ran down Tira's fur. Ryan's focus never wavered. Every step, every pulse, every movement was synchronized. Finally, the structure's energy stabilized. It hummed gently, a soft light radiating across the forest. The danger had been neutralized, but the knowledge it contained was now accessible. Tira lowered herself, breathing heavily but with a smile. Her tail swished slowly, a symbol of relief and triumph. "We did it," she said. "Together." Ryan placed a hand on her shoulder. "Yes, together. This is proof that humans and Vulpans working side by side can overcome challenges that neither could face alone." The villagers and human crew gathered in the clearing, witnessing the event. It was a moment of unity, a demonstration of mutual respect and shared courage. Tira's tail stood high, gleaming in the light, no longer hidden or restrained. It symbolized pride, honor, and the bond formed through trust and cooperation. The elder who had questioned Ryan's intentions stepped forward. "You have proven yourselves," he said. "Humans and Vulpans can work together. Today we see what courage and respect can accomplish when combined." Tira nodded. "We have learned much from each other. Humans have taught us strategy, technology, and patience. We have shown them our ways, our honor, and our courage. Together we are stronger." Rian bowed slightly. "And I have learned from you as well. Humans may be strong, but wisdom, courage, and trust are the true markers of strength. Your guidance has made us better." The villagers cheered, tails swishing and ears high. Humans and Vulpans shared a moment of celebration, understanding, and pride. It was the beginning of a true alliance, one that would carry through generations. As the sun set behind the forest, Tira looked at Ryan. "I once hid my tail in shame," she said softly. "Now I hold it high, proud of who I am and the bond we have forged. You showed me that humans can see honor and courage, not just strength." Rian smiled. "And you showed me that true bravery comes from heart and mind, not just power. Together we can protect what matters, inspire others, and face the galaxy without fear." Tira's tail flicked gently, standing tall in the glow of the setting suns. She was no longer just a warrior hiding in shame. She was a leader, a protector, and a symbol of the alliance between humans and Vulpans. The stars above shimmered, promising new challenges, new adventures, and a future shaped by courage, respect, and understanding. Humans and Vulpans, united by trust and bravery, would face the galaxy together. And in that moment, Tira understood the full meaning of what she had learned. Strength, honor, and trust were more powerful than any weapon, and the partnership between human and Vulpan could achieve greatness beyond imagination. The alliance had been forged. The galaxy had witnessed the proof, and a new era of cooperation had begun. Tira's tail, proud and visible, reflected not only her personal journey but the hope and courage of two species standing together against the unknown.